Absolutely, it was one of it's. I think this is exactly what I worded to you guys when we were texting about it today. As much things change, they stay the same, and this was a great example of that. The same day that this verdict comes down in the George Floyd case, we get another young black person, 40-year-old woman, losing her life in this case, and it's in my city of Columbus, Ohio. Actually, one of the reasons this all got started late is I actually got a call from somebody who's putting a protest together that wants me to film it because of this. So like, it's it sucks, but this is the reality that we live in. That's being black in this country, unfortunately. All right,
Yeah.
Marquis.
Um, we have a we have a long way to go. It's interesting because, like the shooting in Columbus, um, basically LeBron deleted his tweet and talked about basically accountability and posted a picture of the officer. And a lot of the commentary is, oh, he should go to jail because he's threatening this man's life.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man. Let's stop the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Let's not swing and make him now he's the victim. You know what I'm saying? Like this is bullshit. So this is a step. I agree. I want to see what happens next. I don't need Jesse Jackson on stage or Reverend Al Sharpton on stage. We need to actually start planning out and keep track of all these cases. And here's where we are in the progression. And again, hold them accountable. But yeah, like Mary said, I was nervous. We were on the phone watching ESPN or whatever like that, waiting for this verdict. And I was like, yo, I know they were prepared for all out, just riots and everything. And it didn't happen. But like, and you know what? If we would have been surprised, would we have been surprised if it went the other way? It'd have been the same story like it was last summer. And I don't know. I'm glad, but I don't want it to feel like they just threw us one because when the next one comes again, is it you know going to go
Yeah.
the other way?
yeah,
I
So
mean,
that's
I
that's where I'm at.
I had put this in our chat, but I mean, I think our listeners, it's kind of interesting to hear that Marquis, like you and I were together when the Eric Garner verdict came down, and we were
Yep.
eerily in the same exact place where Eric Garner was killed. And it was like we both just like screamed. I mean, it was truly like a and the air just felt eerily similar yesterday. And so I was really hoping that history wasn't going to repeat itself. And I'm happy it didn't. But it's like, I'm not as happy as, like, it
Yeah.
almost feels weird to feel happy about this. Like, we're acting like we won a Super Bowl or
Yeah.
something. And, and it's like,
I would love to see the scoreboard. What is it like?
right,
33-1?
yeah.
exactly.
Great point there. Baylor, what's your thoughts?
Um, no, I don't think it. I don't think it's a step towards anything. Because this one was pretty much obvious, right? And I'm okay with people celebrating it, even if it's a small win. I mean, it just shows how much we've lost to where we do celebrate something like this. Like, let people enjoy the small victory. Yeah, we do have to wait till they get sentenced and things like that, but at least they, at least they acknowledged this time that he was actually wrong. You know what I mean? We'll get to the part when, if they do some fuckboy shit and say, yeah, he'll do about 10 years. All right, then let's rah rah. After that. But for right now, man, I've seen a lot of people online saying this is not a victory. Not something to be celebrating. Yo, man, just whatever. People been through a lot, man. Let them celebrate it. If that's gonna make them feel good, leave them alone, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's what it boils down to is that it's been a lot, and Marquis kind of touched on it too. Like, it's been like 3 summers in a row that it's been shit after shit after shit, and unfortunately, this summer's off to the same fucking start. So, we'll see. Yeah, yeah. It's great that justice was served, and not even for the culture, but for his family first and foremost, and then for
Yeah.
anything
Oh
to
wait, can I say
go ahead.
something about that?
Go ahead.
Yo, who idea was it to film the family though? I don't. And you know what? I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Because maybe they said it was cool for them to do that, but why did that shit feel like NFL draft day?
Exactly.
Mm,
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's a good
That
Yes.
point.
and that's why I said let people celebrate.
That's That's a
My
good point.
bad. That's why I said let. That's why I said let people celebrate because it's like you seen the emotions flowing through that house, but I didn't need to see it though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know about that one. And
Even the
then
press
yet,
release after, it was like, okay, everyone and their mom was speaking, and I don't know. Go ahead.
how yesterday was just full of emotions because everybody was just we was waiting on the word, but at the same time we couldn't wait to get the red and meth. On top of that, through the midst of everything, like Mary said, we got this other news that actually happened earlier in the day. You know what I mean? So it was just a mix of emotions going on at the time.
Yeah, definitely,
For real.
definitely. All right, so let's. I mean, it's we're not picking up anything quite yet because we do have another very sad topic to talk about, and that is the death of Black Rob. Um, like why like it still doesn't feel surreal. We're losing people who still that we would theoretically have thought have had a lot of life left in them, and for this to happen like a week after DMX is just it sucks. It's sad. um and prayers out to his family, and of course we'll get into like conversations that have spurned out about Diddy and his place, and like a lot of the history of like his artist struggling afterwards. I do want to point out that he did come out and say that he's going to be covering the funeral costs, which is good stuff there. But what do you guys think about the passing of Black Rob? Marquis, I'll come to you first.
That shit hurts, man. Again, we're reminded we're losing our people, people that we love and respected. And again, like Black Rob was another one of those rappers. If you know people who know people, there was never anything bad about him. There's never a conversation where you say, "Oh, this nigga is kind of fake," whatever. He was a bodyguard at first, and you know what? He basically saved Diddy when everybody was gone. You know, went to jail. Mace was out. Biggie died. It was Black Rob with Woe. He saved Bad Boy, and it's great that he's gonna cover things now. But where were you then? And I don't want to look back at that point of time where he disappeared. But hopefully he'll get the message like, bro, your record is just it's atrocious. I mean, look at Craig Mack. Look at all the rappers that basically are gone on your watch. Learn from this dude. I mean, I remember there was a video. He had this cute little white girl that he's bragging that he adopted and everything. That's great. What about Black Rob? You know what I'm saying? This is family. This is your family. But you're bragging that you adopted a little white girl? Like, come on, man. So again, I hope we learn from this. I hope he picks this up. Says, you know what? I'm gonna be the one to start this hip hop um, union, and then combine with other Dr. Dre and the rest of them. And say, you know what? We're gonna spearhead this. We're the grandfathers or forefathers right now in hip hop. We're the billionaires. Let's make something happen for our people or that generation, the pioneers of hip hop. So.
All right, Baylor, what do you think?
Or maybe we shouldn't hold Diddy to those standards. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, what we feel about Diddy or how we should feel about Diddy isn't valid. You know what I mean? I guess we looked at him in that light because he brought us some great talent, some great music. But at the end of the day, I mean, shit, nobody has actually started a union. Even the artists that we actually appreciate on a day-to-day basis. So again, I mean, I would just educate people that want to be in the music industry to be careful of who you trust and who you believe in and who you sign with. It is messed up because, us four people, we actually care about people.
Yeah.
We even though West Coast and East Coast had their, beef at the time or whatever, I still look at a Black Rob like an uncle. You know what I mean? A cat that is older than me from a different generation, and a person that I listened to when I was younger. So at the end of the day, when you see the artists that you supported back in the day, you would like to see them in a better light. But that's just us. That's not the people that you signed to. So maybe we got to stop looking at people that have that type of power, but they don't necessarily have that responsibility.
So,
That's a
but Mary,
great
before you
point.
go ahead.
And no, definitely let you go. The only point I want to make is that I understand where you're getting at because in real life, if we went through struggle, we wouldn't look for our former employer to come and do shit for us. We're not an employee anymore. So I get that point, but I think it's a different element because this hip hop thing is personal. Like you build those personal relationships, so it makes us feel a little bit differently. So, but are we wrong? And by us, I mean the culture, not us specifically on this podcast, for vilifying Diddy for looking at it as just an employee-employer relationship. If that's what he
No,
does,
no,
not saying that
we're
that's
not
what he.
wrong.
Okay, okay,
We're
cool.
not wrong. What I'm saying is we're not wrong because we have pure hearts. That's all I'm saying.
Got you,
But
got you.
but
Go
did
ahead,
he
Marcus.
capitalize on his raw talent? You know, we pulled him from the streets and just basically marketed, made it a marketing campaign. We're gonna take what your street cred and commercialize it. You know, I'm gonna make money off of it too. You know what I mean?
True.
So, and this, so go ahead.
No, and I get that. But if he was signed to Capitol Records that we don't know who the CEO is, we wouldn't have that same standard.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be approachable. Diddy is approachable. He's in the videos. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Okay.
CEO of Capitol is not in the video. He's in the videos. And I mean, I think one of the greatest stories I heard was
He wasn't that approachable if the locks was trying to get in the building to get to
well, you know, he got his ass in the Steve Stout office, didn't he?
him.
One of the great stories I heard was when Master P basically saved Snoop Dogg's life. Wasn't on a
hmm
label, basically gave him money for being on the song. Like, look, you don't want to drop that track, you'll be dead. So let's just handle this. I'll take care of you. I'm gonna give you G's just to be on one feature. This is what real money looks like. Get out of your deal. Let me take care of you. That's what it is.
That sounds like a pure heart to me.
Mm. Mary, what do you think of all this?
So, I mean, I know we touched upon it last week, right? And I just, for starters, thought we had more time, right? Like, we saw that he was sick, but it didn't look like he was going to die in a matter of days like that. So it was kind of unexpected, for sure. And, well, there's two things. Secondly, I find it very eerie that I feel like we need to check on the locks because both X and Black Rob were in that 24 hours to live joint, and they end up dying a week after each other. So I find that to be really eerie. Um, but thirdly, and I saw someone tweet something to this effect, right? And it's like, when we were teenagers or coming up, and obviously we were looking up to all of these people because whatever, they were older. um black men living to be 21 was like an accomplishment because they were getting taken out by violence and, whatever, the game, right? And
Yep.
now it seems like, these people aren't making it out of their 50s and it's like health related, right? I mean, I still don't quite know what exactly was ailing Black Rob. I mean, I read some interviews where he was saying he had high blood pressure, but you could live for like 50 years with high blood pressure. So I don't think that's what got him there. I know there was supposedly some kind of liver failure towards the end or something like that. I don't know. But whatever it was, it just like that was a health issue. And then even with DMX, I feel like it's still a little unclear, right? Like I know we had read in the beginning that it was like a cardiac arrest due to an overdose, but then they kind of took it back and said it wasn't an overdose. And so whatever it is, it feels like a little scary that our heroes, our legends are not living to become senior citizens due to health problems. So
Yep.
just kind of want to point that out.
Definitely, definitely. Um, yeah. I mean, you touched anyone got anything left before we move on?
No.
Dude was a stand up guy, man. Dude was a stand up guy. Like he was just cool.
I mean, and it's good that the point was mentioned that he did save Bad Boy at one point. That period.
hmm
So, um, yeah, and that's woe is a Negro spiritual at this point. You can't tell me it's not. Uh, so
Yep.
rest in peace, and prayers to his family. Let's now get ready to pick it up. Let's get the sadness out of the way. Um, and this is an artist that I don't listen to at all. Like this, admittedly, I've never seen the appeal of Post Malone's music, but this is a milestone, and I wanted to talk about it from just that place that is a milestone. He's the youngest artist ever to have 3 diamond singles, He has 3 diamond singles at the age of 20. First of all, the fact that Post Malone is only 25 blew my mind because he looks every bit of he's about to be 40. Like, it's like, I don't know how this man's living, but that, when I read that he was only 25, I legit had to go back and like, we all look younger than fucking Post Malone. We're all considerably older than Post Malone. That's fucking wild. But jokes aside, like, that's a huge accomplishment to have 3 singles that crossed over 10 million in sales. Baylor, it's your turn up first. What do you make of it?
I mean, I like White Iverson. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's catchy. It's catchy.
It
But
got
when we
annoying. They
go,
played it so goddamn much. I did like it at
yeah,
first,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah. I feel you. I feel you. But you know what they say. You know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I don't care about these numbers. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is like he has a fan base, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? So salute to him, and I
All right. Well, there you go. But Marquis,
He writes some catchy ass songs.
does
I
he
can see
write them
why.
though?
That's a very good question. Whoever writes these songs, catchy as fuck. So I'm not gonna knock it. It is what it is. I mean, it's pretty relevant. I'm surprised Drake didn't get up there, but hey, he crossed over more.
Yeah, he definitely
Kudos.
have crossover appeal. Mary, what do you?
Yeah.
Are your kid Mary? By the way, do your kids listen to Post Malone? Because when I put this on the list, I asked my daughter. You know, she's my flag bearer of like how I figure what the young people find catchy, and she even said, "I'm listening to Post Malone." So, but go ahead, Mary. Who do you think?
Well, let's start with I listen to Post Malone. I'm actually a
Okay,
fan.
okay.
So, yeah. Although I must say that one person had tweeted that Post Malone always sounds like he's cold, and I can't unsee that because he
That
does.
is
But
great.
yeah, but actually, the first time I ever saw Post Malone was he was opening for Fetty Wap, who my daughter was obsessed with. So it was her birthday, and I took her to a Fetty Wap concert, and I see Post Malone run out on stage, and I'm like, "Who is this dirty little white boy?" And then he sang White Iverson, and it was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
That's when he thought you
so
were sisters, right?
I mean, when don't they think we're sisters? But yes.
Never mind.
Yeah, they literally were like, "What high school do you guys go to?" And it was like she wasn't even in high school yet, and I was long out of it. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I don't want to say this is well deserved because I do think other people deserve to be there more. But I do enjoy a Post Malone song, so good for him. Cool.
Well, there you have it. Hats off to him. Then, but I mean, it's a huge accomplishment. Me enjoying this music or not, you can't deny the milestone that is for anyone. I don't give a damn if it was somebody I hated, which I don't. It's like I don't enjoy his music. I don't, but I don't dislike him or whatever. I hate him as an actor. The few movies I've seen him in acting are fucking terrible. Uh, but hats off to him. Now let's get into what people I know are probably dying to hear us talk about. The verses. I would say this is the main event, but on an episode that we're talking about a verses like this, that's not the
Yeah.
main event. You know we got some shit coming up. But 420 versus Red and Meth. If this is what verses, and this is the thing that it put me in. It put me in the place that this was not a verses. This was a concert that was streamed live. That's what this was. It was an experience. If verses as a platform is evolving into more of an experience, like an online experience that we culturally come together and we experience collectively without having to leave the comfort of our own homes. This gave me a whole new insight on what verses could be because this was fucking amazing. I remember when they first came out and they first started them. I'm like, okay, so is this not going to be them doing songs against each other? And very quickly you realize, no, it's not going to be. This is going to be something completely different. And I fucking loved it. To every guest, we got Keith motherfucking Murray, Keith Murray, K
We got the
Solo.
green eye. We got the
We
green
got
eye bandit.
where have these people been? The fact that Red and Meth brought these people out that we have not. I haven't thought about Keith Murray in so fucking long that when I saw him, I'm not gonna lie, it was like going to that family reunion and seeing that cousin that you just remember, like you have this keen one memory from your childhood, and you see them, and it's all love. You guys bring it up every time, like. This was a fucking amazing experience. Amazing. But I gotta go. I gotta go to Miss Staten Island herself, Mary, first on this. What did you think about this versus, Mary? And how high did you get high? Did you eat an edible? Please tell me you at least popped the edible during this.
I don't do anything weed related,
Okay.
so no, I did not. But here's the thing: if y'all want to call me Miss Staten Island, not for nothing, but irrespective of last night, right? Even last night made me realize that the person who really deserves their flowers for Versus, and obviously outside of Tim and Swiss, is the RZA. I mean, if you really think about how many of these versuses that he is responsible for, it's quite a number. And then it really makes you think how much of the culture that he really has inspired by his genius, right? And his vision. I don't know if you guys read The Tao of Wu. It's definitely a must-read book if you have not. And he really gets into how like the vision for Wu came to life. But anyway, so last night was fucking epic, like you said. And as far as production goes, it was definitely the best verses that we've had so far from a production standpoint. It definitely was a concert. So that was dope. So much to say about Red and Met's chemistry. It's still being solid after 20 plus years of them being together. They gave us choreography, just their banter, right? Like the way they bounce off of each other is just, it's like you could tell that they're really friends. And that's also like something that I think is really special. And like, obviously we've seen lots of verses so far where people celebrate each other and respect each other. But, they really do elevate each other and lift each other up. And I think it's dope. Another thing that I don't think probably was recognized or got its flowers was I feel like this was the first verses that there really was a set design. And that set design was meticulous. When I tell you everything that was on that stage in the background were classic hood Staten Island scenes. I mean, they had like a span of Park Hill. They had Stapleton. They had like stores that were known in the hood in Staten Island. They had the Verrazano Bridge, the ferry. Like, obviously, if you're not from Staten Island, I guess you wouldn't have appreciated it. But even the tagging, the graffiti tagging was actual, replica of, famous spots that murals were created, like in Staten Island hoods. So that was just amazing to me. And I really like appreciated that, attention to detail. And I hope other people did too. And I mean, again, I rep for Staten Island very hard. Nobody reps to me harder than Meth. And I mean, he definitely, he came out with his Park Hill gear, which Raekwon also wore. He literally was shouting out the local stores and businesses. Very, very dope. I mean, you already spoke to, and also we got to talk about Redman, right? Like he always reps for Jersey. Jersey is not a place that a lot of people rep. I think I understand why, but no, I'm kidding.
The armpit of
anyway,
Lauren
that
Hill.
was a shot at,
Lauren
that's
Hill's
a
from
shot at
Jersey.
Marquis, by the way.
Lauren Hill's from
everyone
Jersey.
Who's from
Just wanna make
Jersey?
sure you know.
from Jersey also?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
from Jersey City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
But anyway,
Nice.
I feel like Redman for me was the first one to really put on for Jersey and like Brick City for me. Again,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
my generation's behind yours. So
Shots.
you saw that. But yeah, no, for real though. So for me, and he still was doing it last night, even though they were in Staten Island and clearly he was outnumbered, he still had to be like, for the 3 Jersey niggas that are up in here, we're gonna. So, I mean, yes. And I think that you covered it, Hayes. There's nothing else to say. I mean, they had EPMD out there. They brought RZA back. They had DJ Cool, which I didn't even know was Redman's uncle. So I was yesterday years old when I learned that. I mean, it was just epic. It was a great night for the culture. I don't even know what else there is to say. I just hope I do think that kudos to you for being a man who can change his stance, because I remember a few verses ago, you were like, yo,
I was over.
I think verses is finished.
Yep.
And I feel like they found a way to kind of bring it back. So let's see what happens next.
Listen, they brought the feeling back. Like the last couple verses have just completely reinstilled my excitement for it as a platform and like what it can be. And even the next one, I'm super excited for that too. Like They did their thing. And I wanted you said this is the first one that you felt like had set design. I feel like the first one that had purposeful set design to me, not to this degree though, was Too Short and E40, because that was very
Okay.
Cali in that one, like in the having the cars in the background and everything. But I feel what
True.
you're saying with that. Baylor, what were your thoughts on
Um, well, it took me back. It took me back to my childhood for sure. I was glad that RZA damn near forced them to admit that we about to have another movie. Don't know if it's
Hmm.
going to be how I remake, part two, or are we just going to get something totally different. I don't care what it is. I just want to see both of them in the movie. Um, and then to see all the features and yes, I was that guy that said yeah, Versus is dead because it felt like they were trying to force certain acts.
it?
And when you can just go back to the past and figure out the pedigree, and that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? So again, if this is gonna turn out to be somewhat of a concert and for us to view it online, I am here for it. They just got to get it. Just don't bring back, you know, Two Chains and Rick Ross. We don't need it. We don't need that. Stick with the '90s, and you'll win.
Mm. I feel that.
Mm.
I feel that. Marquis.
Oh yeah. So, not often am I excited about something. Like I don't get excited about shit. This I was excited for. All right. This took me back. Just so many levels. It was so serious. Like to me, and I know we had this conversation before about the best duos in hip hop, and I know Run DMC and everything. I'm sorry, Red and Meth will always be the best duo in hip hop to me, and they weren't even. They were born in completely different, groups. There was a Hit Squad, Def Squad, and then it was Wu Tang. How they got together, it was like perfect synergy. The
Mm.
moment they got on a track together, you knew there was something there that was special. It was so serious. I remember when the Blackout album came out, and I bought the CD. I bought two. I bought one of them not to open because I thought that was gonna be a collector's because I needed that album to be saved. That's how flawless that album was to me.
Yeah.
Jersey, yeah. Red was always my favorite rapper personally. Nas is my favorite of all time, but Redman was always my personal favorite. Um, Dude just had shit that went over people's heads. The angles he came from, I swear to you, the shit that he said people probably didn't catch is just that serious. He's just crazy with it. Back then, and it was funny because when Method Man first came out, right around Tikal, and then the prequel, or excuse me, the Tikal 2, 2000, I always said Method Man was the most overrated, underrated rapper ever. The reason is because really didn't pay attention to his lyricism. They more paid attention to his image and how popular he was until people started accepting this motherfucker actually does have lyrics. So that's that. Um, Back to the whole Wu Tang. I believe that Redman was the anointed 11th official member of the Wu Tang. Now you can correct me on that. I believe Nas was the 9th or 10th, somewhere around there. The fact that Redman had on the shirt Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Eminem's favorite, fucking awesome. Um, to me, this was one of the best moments of hip hop that I could see virtually without being there on stage, watching them live. I remember they did the Hard Knock Life tour. I
Mm-hmm.
was there for that, and of course they opened for Jay and everything like that. But again, the synergy, that chemistry, you can tell that they are this close. So I was excited to see. I'm gonna watch it again.
So, and to piggyback off something you mentioned, how like some of his lyrics went over people's heads. What I will say to that is, even last night, there were songs that I have been listening to literally since I was a child. That when he was spitting last night, I was like, God damn, that was a sick fucking. Like I knew the lyric, but I never slowed down enough to realize what the fuck he was saying.
That
Um, and
oh my
so
god.
the best concert I've ever been to in my life was the Rock the Mic tour, in which it was Jay-Z and 50 Cent headlining. Buster was on there, Snoop was on there, Method Red was on there, and Twister was on there. Best fucking concert of my life to this day. I was 16 years old when I went to that concert, and that concert is fucking stuck with me. Best fucking performance that I've ever seen in my life.
Really quick, I think Redman. I don't know why you don't have your own rum. Diddy had his rock, everything like that. There should be a red rum.
Mm, I
Can
like
I
that.
can I
I like
can
that.
I ask can I ask the room this question? what? And I'm asking a serious question because I hate that we uphold certain artists to like the number one spot and we don't allow other cats to be included because maybe a certain fan base might be bullies or something like that.
Okay.
But when I hear Redman rap separate, when I hear Method Man rap, and I'm talking about throughout their career,
Hmm.
how come they're not mentioned as the greatest? And
I
and I'm just using these two artists because of last night. There's other
Mhm.
artists that I want to include.
I hear Meth actually included in not top 10, but if we get down to top 15, I hear Meth sneak in there a couple of times depending on like what age the person is on. Like, so I do hear Meth. Reggie, I
But do
never
you
hear.
believe that? Oh, do you believe because there has been a narrative that for certain artists that we just exclude, we run with it, and we exclude other artists from that argument just because of the mass? Because I feel like, and I brought up Jadakiss before, and I brought up Styles P. I feel like Method Man can go bar for bar with your favorite rapper. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying everybody that's listening to this. I feel like Method Man can go bar for bar with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
agree
think
with
this.
that.
I think I know. Yeah,
Anybody.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think what happens, and this is just my observation. This is just based off you just bringing it up. I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and think about this, but my first mind goes to is I think that happens to a lot of artists who were part of groups that were as big as them as individual artists. Like when artists transcend the group and their solo run is bigger than what the group run is, they get put in that conversation. But typically, for me, is that when artists are a part of a legendary group that people's mind goes to first, they don't get put in the solo conversations as much as they probably
But
should.
is that fair? Because
No,
when
Not fair.
I could look at
no,
Wu
it's not
Tang
fair.
and say Wu Tang is a powerful empire, but you can
Yeah,
also say Wu Tang and Method Man. You can say
Hmm.
Wu Tang with Method Man, and you can also say Wu Tang and Method Man. That's how dope he is.
oh, Method
So
Man is amazing. Go ahead, Marky.
Yeah.
for me, you go ahead. No, I'll let you take the notes. It's a transition to Method Man. Go ahead, Mayor.
For me, well, I was just gonna say something that I actually thought of last night because Baylor, much like we always do, I kind of was thinking along the lines of what you just said, but I was thinking that more so for Redman, and I feel like because Redman was funny or a character, maybe he
Mm,
wasn't taken as seriously. And I mean, I guess you didn't really see it so much last night. I mean, yes, you did if you listened,
yeah,
but like his videos were so animated. He always like even that Docs the Name album, like where it was like the animated caricature of himself, and some of the
yeah.
videos from that continued it. Like I just feel like people, I don't, and I don't mean this in a such a negative sense, but I think people were like, he's a clown. Like he's like, you
He's
know
a
what I mean?
character.
Like he plays too
Yeah,
much. Right. He's a character.
But he's
But
also
even
the number one guy that we would want to kick it with in real life.
for sure. And I swear to you, Baylor, here we are again. Cause I swear I said, so I watched it with my daughter and I told her, like, if I could have chilled with any artist, like if you would have asked me when I was in high school, it would have been Redman. Like if I could be best friends with anyone, and like to this day, I still feel that way. He's just hilarious. But I think people looked at that and slept on his skill. And I feel like he's nasty. Like seriously, his flow, his lyricism, like Marquis said, like the things that we don't even hear from him are could fill a book. Like so, yeah, I think he's definitely slept
I
on.
mean Eminem has
So
admitted to taking his style a little bit, so that just goes without saying there. But go ahead, Marky.
Yeah.
if you listen to Buster's first album, he took Redman style. The reason he said, "Let's not forget, I originate all that rah rah shit." He said that people took his style. Two, I paid attention to and I think we had this conversation last week about the Nori the Nori and Cam podcast. Um, it's what other rappers say about other rappers, and Redman is always in a conversation of other rappers' favorite rappers or mentioned in those conversations. So
True.
I know he's respected amongst his peers, but I agree. I think and you said it, that comedic value, his lyrics do go over people's heads. I can probably recite Muddy Waters and There Is a Dark Side for you like that. I paid attention to that album, those two albums, so much detail, so much shit was dropping. I had to rewind it. And the back to your point, Baylor, another rapper that is so underappreciated is Lupe Fiasco. Like, this dude says shit that you literally have to rewind and continuously rewind to pick apart what he's saying. And again, it's just maybe it's because the masses don't love it, or I don't know. But yeah,
when
there's
we
certain
get to the
rappers don't have an
point,
appeal.
when we get to the point where we stop lying to ourselves and just rolling with the masses, because we watch these artists, their careers. I'm saying we watch these artists grow up, right? And we've
Because they got to
seen
make money too.
but we've seen the lies that they've told us and things like that, because we assume that once you got a contract, that you made it. You know what I'm saying? When we watch them walk through these empty houses on cribs and lie and say that they were
Word.
theirs, but who has the best cribs though, Green Ranger? Who has the best one? Yeah,
Redman.
Bro.
yeah.
He tied that
That's
shit
what
to
I.
get
Yeah,
word. He tied
And
yeah,
he
that
was
shit.
in
That's it.
Staten Island.
That's who he is.
yeah.
That's exactly who he is. Yeah.
So that's
You know
my
he was
point.
Nas's weed dealer, right? He used to run weed for Nas when Nas lived in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Long Island. Yeah. Yeah. They admitted
So
that story.
I have a question for you guys. Speaking of your favorite rappers, did anybody catch when Meth had said that his top 5 is Inspector Deck, Inspector Deck, Inspector Deck, all the way down? I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, great conversation. That went in a place I didn't expect. That's what's up, Baylor. We always find a way to go left here. But a great conversation. Maybe one that we pick up later. And in that, I think Mary, is the one who said it at one point, or maybe it was you, Baylor. We talk so much lately in the chat, I don't keep up. But having a conversation about the most underrated MCs.
Yeah.
So,
That was Mary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Buster.
Oh, Buster by far.
Okay.
I forgot it was even me.
See?
But yeah.
Only reason I know that is because you brought up Redman in the chat. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Right.
That's why.
All right.
The crazy part is that we all think alike. We don't know who said it. So
That's what the fuck is up.
But
Fearsome force.
But moving on, so and this is something I texted you guys. Like, it just feels like there's a lack of new music right now. So there's not a lot of new music to review. But Baylor came up with a great idea. We're gonna kick it here. This is a quick one. I don't know how deep this is gonna get, but top 5 beats of all time. Who wants to kick this one off first?
I thought we was going with 3.
Oh, you're right. No.
Go 5.
No, we're doing 5. We're doing three favorite weed movies later on for 420.
Shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's top 5 beats of all time.
Man, I can't even.
Oh, shit.
I can't even narrow my top beats to 5. Sheesh.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I thought about the moment I heard it, it brought me back. So, one, put your hands where my eyes can see. The moment you hear that shit, the first time I heard it, I'm like, holy shit, I still can remember the video.
True.
Oh my God.
You're going in and out.
You're going in and out, Marquis. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
Move closer.
In the club.
Okay, that's fair. All right, what's next?
The Symphony.
Okay.
That was back in the day with Big Daddy Kane, the rest of them. Scenario remix.
What's that for?
And Who Shot You?
Okay.
And Who Shot You?
I love that. All right, my top 5. Number 1, I've said this on this podcast probably 100 times since we've been. Favorite beat of all time, Boys in the Hood. That's my favorite beat of all time. Number 2, Super Thug, Nori. Number 3, Rough Riders Anthem. Number 4, Grinding by the Clips. And number 5, Cream, Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my top 5 beats of all time. Mary, what's yours?
No, I don't want to do this. All right.
Oh, my shit will change if I hear something else, but go ahead.
I know. That's what I was going to say. But, okay, so how about I just throw in some, because all of the ones you guys mentioned, I co-sign. One, how about this one? One that would definitely be in my top 5, probably 5th. I heard last night, and if I didn't hear it last night, I would have forgot about it. But Wild the Fuck Out.
Okay.
By Redman. That beat is fucking insane. I remember the first time I heard it, I was just like... So I'll contribute that to the list because I feel like that would be a forgotten one. Damn. Obviously, Cream. Triumph is up there for
Ooh,
me,
yes,
too.
yes.
Yeah. Especially when you hear the originals. Like, you know, and then, like, the samples, it's, like, crazy.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can go, Baylor.
Okay, so this was actually a trap because my top five beats change all the time. That's
Yeah.
how
Oh
I
yeah.
many,
agree.
Yeah.
you know.
My
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
number one.
I
it's
was
not
gonna
My
take.
just
I
number
was gonna take
one
maybe
never
three others.
changes. Never. But everything else can
yeah.
change depending on my
Hey,
mood.
me and Hayes is on the same page with Boys in the Hood. That'll never change. I got Ambition as a writer.
Hmm.
Mm.
It ain't hard to tell. It ain't hard to tell. I hate to be biased toward that, but I think that's the best song ever created. Um,
Agreed. 100%.
Paul Paul Revere.
Ooh, Beastie Boys. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this one, this one is gonna. I can't lie. I dance to this shit all the time when it come on. Big time is still fly.
I okay. I can't hate on that at fucking all.
And then look, my honorable mention. Yo, the locks while out. I move out the way when that comes on. Move. I'm socking somebody.
Okay, I like those takes. If I
So much sugar is in my blood.
and just because I'm surprised that no one mentioned it on here. Well, Baylor, I thought it would be on Baylor's list. Maybe that's just bias, but I got 5 on it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So wait, I have
I,
two more that just came
go
to
for it. I'm
mind.
about to say, go for it.
I got New York State of Mind Part 2.
Okay.
And then I have Feeling It, Jay-Z. But I guess
That
I'm
was
feeling
dope.
jazzy tonight.
No
So,
one mentioned Dipset Anthem, which was surprising to me because I thought that would make somebody's list. And then
no.
Flavor in your
If
ear.
you ask me next week,
Flavor in your ear.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one
Shimmy
too.
Shimmy
hey,
Ya.
never change, never change.
Brooklyn New.
Yeah.
Like hell yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
Quiet
Uchi Wally.
Oh,
Storm.
Shook Ones.
Yeah,
Oh
Shook.
Quiet
shit.
Nobody
Storm.
mentioned Shook
Shook
Ones.
Ooh, shook
one.
ones,
Hell yeah.
Shook
shook
Ones.
ones.
Dude, I had it on my
Oh
list. I just couldn't
wait,
do it.
hey, so we got to throw Twisted in there.
Okay. Quiet Storm. Like, well, this can go on. Anyway, what's your favorite
Yeah.
5 beats of
No
all
problem.
time? Let us know, listeners. We love to hear from you on that one. This is just we can get caught up in a rabbit hole all day long, going down that one because we all love music
Hey,
very very much.
when they come in there
Um,
and we have MOBB, oh my God, move
definitely.
out the way.
All right. Next topic. Getting our oh no, Black people like rock too. I'm sorry. Presented by the one and only red wine connoisseur himself, Marquis. What you got for us today?
So check this out. So this is inspired actually by Baylor. You're on a road listening to Creed, and also Mary, you mentioned the Jesus Walks video, right?
Mhm.
So based on what rock was created, how it was formulated, was based on Southern gospel. Then it influenced a lot of people to steal some music from Black people and everything like that, and incorporate that. But there was a lot of religion in music, and I think bands like Creed and a few others kind of brought that to light. They had their following, and Jesus Walked was the first successful hip hop religious song kind of crossover. You know what I mean? How do y'all feel about that? Like, how do you feel about religion in music, especially in this generation?
I mean, I think religion and music go hand in hand, right? Because most of our musicians,
Well, I think it
Does it?
started
yeah.
that way
So
anyway,
I think
right?
there's always going to be a reflection and a representation of religion in music, and it should be. Um, now, just does it need to go overboard? And some people try to capitalize on religion and shit like that. But religion is always going to have its place in music. It's rooted together. I mean, look at even how many people still in just this generation will choose their church based on how good the choir is at the church. So, music and religion go hand in hand, especially in our community and culture.
Then where is it now?
It's reflected. You would
People have strayed.
there.
People have strayed away from religion in general, though.
But there's actually more of an undertone in it than what we realize. There are a lot of artists, even the mumble rappers, that mention religion. Now it's not
Yeah.
as overboard as clear as like a Jesus Walks, but religion is still in music today.
Please point it out. I would love to hear
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you would have to
The
give
only
me
reason
some
I said that,
time.
the only reason I'm saying that is
Good.
okay. The only reason I say that is if there's religious undertones, that's great. But if it's not being brought to the forefront, then is it pretty much. I mean, because the Satan sneakers were huge.
Mhm.
That was a whole controversy where those things are worth millions, or hundreds of thousands right now. But
Well, that's
the only reason go ahead.
I was gonna say. Well, I just think in general people have strayed away from religion and started a spiritual journey. They might have religious traits in their music or Satan traits, for all I know, but it's not as heavy as it used to be because people have chose to walk a spiritual route rather than a religious route.
And I mean, just some things that come to mind. You asked for examples. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is a great example of it. The overall theme of all his skits in his music is very much religion and asking the Lord for forgiveness. That was a theme throughout Good Kid, Mad City. ASAP Rocky is also another one. Hell, he has a track named Holy Ghost. So like he speaks on Christianity a lot in his music too. And those are just two that come to mind quickly. Like I said, if you want more recent examples and
Cool.
specific examples, I'd have to take some time out to get that, but those come to mind quickly.
I appreciate that, and this is why I go back to X. X basically, no matter how tortured he was, he gave a prayer, and the prayers he gave were real. You felt them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know what inspires artists to create the music they do. Whatever it is, I encourage that. Again, as a musician, I created things based off of my emotions, my feelings. Whatever inspires you, especially, and you always know this, the most tortured or troubled souls create the best music. No matter what it is, they create the best music. And those
But
who
they had a
find,
foundation back in the day. Think about the artists that's making music now. You wonder why these kids are sad because they're listening. They're digesting sad music.
Mhm.
Where when you just
Yeah.
brought up DMX, yeah, he will give us some rah rah shit, and then he will pray for us. And he stood
he's
on that, and
slipping.
he had impact. Nowadays, these kids are listening to these mumble rappers and these cats that's just seeing rapping or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
sad shit. They're talking about depression and suicide and things like that. So this is what they're intaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even the
This
songs that seemingly are happy, when you actually listen to them, they're like, wait a minute, we play games a lot to avoid the depression. What? Like, what are
Yo,
we
mm,
and I
listening
mean,
to?
and I know, some of us may have our differences with this particular artist, but just to show you how bad the times are, Logic came up with a whole ass suicide
Mhm.
song with the
Mm.
That's a
number.
good point.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I mean, Jordan and Lucas did the same thing, which kind of started their beef.
Jordan Lucas as
Yeah.
well.
But yeah, I mean,
quick question: what is Post Malone? What genre is he in?
Pop.
I mean, pop.
pop,
Yeah.
folk rap,
He's pop.
like I don't know.
Folk rap.
Folk rap.
Folk rap.
Hey, shit.
I mean,
My
Oh, how about
shit.
that?
Hey,
is
look,
that not
you
the
got to put
perfect?
them somewhere.
Is that not the
Shit.
perfect way to
Yeah.
describe it? Like,
Yeah.
Cash
Hey,
me
if
straight,
if
right?
if this was my first time recording with y'all, I would believe that was a such thing. Yeah, that's right.
Johnny Cash me straight. I'm for that.
yeah, definitely. All right.
Dog did not like that at all. The dog must be a Post Malone fan. He like, look, I'm sick of this shit.
All right.
Enough is enough.
So,
White Iverson is his joint.
we got to get into our TV and film section. We have been running super long, so I'm going to condense some of this. We're going to do. We're going to skip Snowfall only because the finale airs tonight, and next week we can just talk about the whole season. So we'll skip Snowfall.
But I really need to know why you think Leon's gonna die.
I explained it to you. He killed a kid. He killed a kid.
So,
He has to die.
but
That's
wait,
just the.
wait, wait.
No, but you
Then
said
we got
what
to talk about
happened
that.
last week solidified that Leon was a goner
Yes, because if you look at
in
it,
the
is that
finale.
like the. So the reason why I say that is that Leon was trying to talk to old girl's mom to hopefully calm it all down, right? So which means that he still feels something unanswered to him. There's thematic themes. Again, it has to be somebody like I. So because of that, and her dying, him having her blood literally on his face because of that, and then Scully's conversation earlier in the show where he was saying forgiveness. I think what all the death that happened last episode is going to send Scully down the spiral, and Leon has to go on top of killing the kid. I really feel like the ending of this season is going to be Leon either shot. Maybe we don't find out he's dead until the beginning of next season, but Leon
A
bleeding
cliffhanger, you say?
bleeding in Franklin's arms. That's how this season's ending.
So we didn't talk about the hat trick that Franklin pulled off.
No.
Those three bodies. Those are three important
Yes,
bodies.
yes. It's
And you were
Frank,
gonna
yo,
skip our
well,
snowfall
that's
Frank,
because you
conversation.
motherfuckers talk so much. We're
uh,
an hour in, and we still got 2 segments to go.
but we started late.
You know what? I agree. I agree. I agree with pushing Snowfall to next week, especially after this
Yeah,
episode. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's gonna be a
So,
lot.
well, can we just all just agree or disagree that are we at peace with the three bodies that dropped last week?
absolutely.
The bodies hit the floor, as
Hey,
Bailey would
I
say.
agree. I agree. What happened? But Man Boy was such a great character.
I
He
know.
He
was.
had to go though. He had to
And
go.
Yeah,
the
how you
actor
still
that
talking
played Man
shit?
Boy had posted yeah, it's a little compilation video to "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday." It was pretty
Yo,
funny, but
how he dying still talking shit? You a bitch. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
dying. Like, you
I
still
know.
ain't shit.
Yeah,
Look me in
finish
the
me
eye and do it.
off.
Oh.
Hey, Man Boy,
You're the
he's a hell
motherfucker.
of a character,
Yeah,
man.
for
That was a
sure,
hell of a
for
character.
sure.
You a bitch
We're
too.
actually we're gonna hold off on Falcon and the
That was
Winter
dope.
Soldier for the same reason we're holding off on Snowfall too. Then, just to be fair.
Oh, good,
That
because I
I
haven't
support
watched one
that.
look at
Yeah.
that.
All right. Cool. All right. So, Two Distant
One
Strangers.
lick.
That shit was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was
Yes,
good.
but I'm just tired of watching black trauma.
Yeah.
I'm officially at that point
For sure.
now, especially since it's really I feel like I live in Two Distant Strangers. I mean, it's
Yeah.
every day it's the same thing over and over. So, yeah, but I mean it was very well done and Joey Badass did a great job and
He did.
yeah, I mean it's a great film, but it's just the subject matter is really like hitting too close to home.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely. Yeah, and it sucked seeing like the different ways that he died back to back to back because you can see them all happening a lot did happen in real life, but you can see them all happening. But then
yeah.
the way that the movie climaxed in that conversation, which they connected, and you're thinking, damn, maybe the message of this movie is if we just listen to each other, we can figure it all out. And then for the cop to have known what was going on the whole time, pull his gun out, clap, shoot him, and then say, "See you tomorrow, kid." It's like, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
And you know where I got from that message? I got that no matter how much we want things to change, they got to change as well.
definitely, definitely,
At the end of the
They
day,
don't have to. They don't want to.
Yeah, but
hey, Green Ranger, I understand that, but at the same time, that's what it is, and I feel like again, I don't want to put any energy in the air, but eventually, Pac has said it before. Um, we gonna stop knocking at that door. Eventually, we're gonna stop knocking. That's all I'm gonna say.
it's true.
but it really was especially cruel because at one point it did, like you said, Hayes, it did feel like a breakthrough was happening. Like they really were talking and they were even finding humor in like making fun of each other's cultures. You know what I mean? And then I don't know, the way that ended, I really because the cop played it off like he didn't know what was
Mm-hmm.
happening every time. And then the
Hmm.
way it ended, it was like, oh, he knew. I don't know. I have questions with that ending.
And you know what? I understand where Mary is coming from because at one point I did catch myself tearing up after he just kept waking up. And the cold part about it hit me when he was like, "Man, I just want to get home to my dog."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. And it was not lost on me that you hit us with that
yeah.
line when you
Yeah,
were
no, but
gonna be late
that
today.
was a metaphor for me trying to get to my parking spot. No lie,
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
the whole time. That's why I sent the video.
yeah.
All I'm saying is I can't wait for us to do the review for Black Op.
You saw it?
No, I saw the trailer. I'm
Okay.
good. That's how we review that next week.
Baylor, you gotta watch. Everyone has to watch Black Cop before we record next week, and I don't want to derail it by talking about that, but that's gonna be such a great
Yeah.
conversation between the four of us. All right, did everyone get to talk on Two Distant Strangers before we move into the next one? All right, cool.
Okay,
Go ahead,
okay.
Baylor.
I know. I thought Marquise. Did
Yeah,
Marquise go?
did
No, Y'all said everything I needed to say. All I'm saying is, because of this, I can't wait to talk about Black Cop when we see it. Because I already saw the trailer. I'm good. I'm ready for that.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Next up, in the spirit of 420, after having an amazing versus, we wanted to list our top 3 each weed films of all time. This one's easy. Who wants to take this one away first?
Can I just get mine out the way because I don't want to discuss anything.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's no discussion. I'm mine too.
I feel like ours were pretty collective since we went through this in the chat. I don't know if you want to just
Friday, Ted, Harold, and Kumar. I'm out.
Friday.
All right. Well,
Friday.
no.
Pineapple Express and Jesus. I just lost. What the fuck was my third?
I was about to say Jesus. When did that shit come out?
What?
I said, whoa.
Are you still recovering from?
I thought you put me on something.
What did I say? Did I say something?
You said Jesus.
Oh no.
But you stopped, so I was like, I ain't never seen that.
Friday.
Jesus got a PhD.
Friday, Pineapple Express, and I would have to say Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. The first one specifically, amazing.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll go then. How High, Friday, and then Harold and Kumar.
I'm sorry. Wait. What do you say? Remember the Holocaust? The exact opposite of that. What the fuck? You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Friday, How High, and Half Baked.
That's a very good top 3.
That's my shit. Lord, if you listening, hey, fuck you. You're cool.
You cool.
All right.
How do you give the dog a drug story? His mom was a crackhead. I'm sorry. Oh shit. Yes, let's move on. I'm sorry.
Let's get into the grand finale. We got to get into this. So we are kicking off. This is the first week of the Sweet 16 of best diss tracks of all time. So the way that we got to this list is we each gave our list of what we thought were the top 16 diss songs of all time. We listed all the ones that we thought should be 1 seeds. I took the average of that. Most of our 1 seeds were pretty similar, so the 1 seeds were easy. Everything that we had similarly ranked, I took that and ranked it the same way, and then I kind of randomized things that weren't on everyone's list to kind of end it. So this first round that we have, the first 8 matchups.
Wait, can I put a disclaimer out? You just said that this was randomly generated, right?
No, well, I said the ones that weren't on everybody's list were seeded randomly.
Let me let you know what a lot of people have an issue with.
Okay.
The bottom bracket has all the heavy West Coast diss tracks, so they cancel out each other.
I mean, if you look at it, most of these, I like the way it works out because it's a lot of East Coast versus East Coast tracks too.
Well, look, no, I don't have a problem with stirring up the pot and setting shit on fire. I'm just letting you know that some of those West Coast tracks.
But see,
again, a lot of West Coast biased people feel like
people don't have to do it. It's easy to say, "Oh no, this shouldn't be ranked here." But then when you tell them, "Okay, well then what would you rank there instead?" and they have to go through and it's not as simple as flipping one with another one, and they have to start reseeding everything. Then they really like, and that's the thing with.
No, I get it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying they feel like some of those top seeds up top can be overthrown by some of them bottom. That's all.
We'll see.
Are you trying to break the cycle?
All right, let's go.
All right. So first round, first matchups. Let's get into
the conversation.
This is gonna. Do you guys want to start from the top? Or you want to start from the bottom?
You can start from the top.
Either or.
It's an easy one. We can start from the top. We can get that shit over with.
First matchup.
Go top, bottom. How about that? Top, bottom.
We're not doing all that shit. First matchup. Ether. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Specifically, LL's verse. This is an easy one. Ether gets the win for me here.
Oh, Upset City, baby. Not just playing. I got Ether.
All right. Mary?
Ether.
4-0
All
sweep.
right, yeah, that was an easy one.
Ether all
I
day.
mean,
Ether
Yeah.
all
5, 4,
day.
3, 2, 1 is a great verse, but it doesn't fucking compare to Ether. Yeah,
Very much. I was hyped when they played
yeah.
it last night.
Next one, and I think this one is like when I looked at this matchup, this next one that we have up, it I like that these two songs and these two artists were paired against each other with the Bridges Over and Exodus 231. And I know I'm gonna get hate for this, especially on this panel. I got Exodus over the Bridges Over.
I'm going the bridges over.
And I fully expect the Bridges Over to win.
I got to know why you chose Exodus over the Bridges Over.
Well, like I said, they're very similar tracks. Like, not only did KRS-One just take down a whole fucking borough,
County.
but when you
Yeah,
look
fair.
at Exodus, for me, the things in which Pusha T said in Exodus have all come true. He was prophesizing on Exodus, and it's so funny that it's called Exodus 231 because he prophesized on there, and everything is. And then that line of "Ask Steve Jobs, wealth don't buy health," and it went over a lot of people's heads because Lil Wayne suffers seizures from the shit that he's gone through. This shit, Exodus to me, I think if it came out in a different era, we would look at it differently. Exodus to me is one of the greatest diss tracks of all time, which is why it's on the list. And I personally find it, and maybe it's also an age thing plays a role in it, but I personally pick Exodus over the Bridges Over.
Go ahead, Bella.
the Green Ranger is waiting on me. I see that nigga, man. I'm the White Ranger. I pick Exodus too. And I picked it because, first of all, the Bridge is Over. He did take down it, but it was a fun one though. It was fun. They partied.
It wasn't received in a fun way.
Okay, well,
Not at
the
all.
video content that I seen, a lot of people were partying over. That's my point. I'm not dancing to Exodus.
In the Bronx.
Okay.
I'm not dancing to Exodus.
Exactly what happened.
He broke down Wayne's contract too in that song.
He knew Wayne's
So what do we
contract
do
because he
now?
could.
Are we gonna flip a coin? We're gonna
No.
be
You signed a one
No,
nigga and signed a two
this
nigga.
This is gonna have to be put up to vote. I'm actually gonna take just this part of the video. We're gonna put this up, let people vote on it. So for the people who are now watching this promo video version of this, because we came split on the Bridges Over in Exodus 231, you guys get to help us decide who is going to walk away with the victory in this matchup. Who do you have? The Bridges Over Exodus 231.
My case real quick. All I'm gonna say, real dark day in season until Nas came. Everybody admitted that. He did that shit. Queens was done until Nas came.
That's cool, but people are saying that this Exodus diss track should actually be in the Bible.
All I'm saying is like
words.
If we go back and listen to Exodus bar for bar for bar, everything that he said that wasn't true at that time came true, and it's a better diss today than what it was back then.
Featuring Big on the low.
True. All right. So next matchup that we got, we have Lost Ones versus Sheetha, which is, I love the way that this one played out too.
I got Lost Ones, man.
I got Lost
Ones. Yeah.
I'm going Lost Ones as well.
Okay. That
was a disrespectful track too.
Right.
Sheetha was disrespectful, but
it was.
You also looking off the back of
Ether.
Was
classy.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, next one.
What you thought? I just want to know what you thought.
What?
Lost Ones. You didn't say what you
Lost
thought.
Ones. I said it's a 4-0 sweep. Lost Ones by fucking far.
Okay.
Like Sheetha is great. Sheetha is a great diss track, especially modern, and we don't see women go at each other very often. But Lauryn Hill fucking told a story and laid that man's whole shit out in a way that he could never respond. Like what? There could
Carnival
never possibly
or something.
be a response to that.
Yeah.
All you can do is go home and cry. That's all you can do and count your money. Like that's all you can do. I am so happy that back when I was in my days of being a worldly man, that I never fucked with a female MC that could come at me on a track like this because listen, this shit is over with. Um,
Yeah. And she spit it and sang.
yes. Jesus Christ. All right. Next matchup. Takeover. Jay-Z. Back down 50 Cent.
Take
You got
over.
this.
I went back and listened to Back Down, and I know I said when we were talking about this, I was like, none of 50's, I said none of 50's disses towards Ja really hold up as far as being amazing. I went back and listened to Back Down because it made this list, and I have to backtrack on that. This is a great diss song. Great diss song. Back Down is
I
fucking
think it's
amazing.
I think it's a great diss song. I just thought Clapback was better.
Mm-hmm.
But by then, nobody cared for Ja. Like
That's true.
Clapback was. I listen to Clapback. I will pick Clapback in when I'm in the car and just first of all, it's an amazing fucking beat and the chorus is great. But he didn't really.
Yeah,
He
you know
really
how many
didn't
times?
say
You know how many
shit though.
times?
He really
You
didn't
know,
say.
but
It's a great song. It's a better song. But as a diss, he didn't really say shit in Clapback.
it's a song for the football team or the basketball team to run out to. When you say "Let's take them to war," nigga, I'm
Mm.
But
amped.
see, what Ja did with Clapback is the same thing that Nicki and Drake do when they have issues. They make a song that can also be a hit and be played on the radio, and therefore
Yeah.
still make money off of it. But it's just unfortunate
Yeah.
at that point nobody gave a fuck what Ja had to say. But
Right.
in this matchup, Takeover Back Down, it's Takeover for me.
Take over.
Yeah.
We already. If you no, I ain't gonna
Breaks
say that.
over. Take over,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah.
The
Take
God
over.
in the sky. Me.
Mm.
Jehovah.
All right, these are going pretty much how I thought they would go so far. Hit 'em up and Jack the Ripper.
Hit him up.
Hey, hit him up. Hit him up.
Did you guys go back and listen to Jack the Ripper recently?
I'm about to
Fight
say,
game.
like, yo, Jack the Ripper was serious.
Listen,
Jack the Ripper versus
Was-
hit 'em up is like the Lakers versus Miami in the finals. 4 games. You
No,
know,
it is not.
like it tried.
from a lyrical exercise standpoint, Jack the Ripper is a better track all day long.
Okay, but as far
Yeah,
as
I'm on
most
that.
disrespectful track of all
Right.
time,
Most
Yeah.
Come on
disrespectful
now.
opening bar of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, no, fuck you. Yeah, okay, that's different. But Jack the Ripper was serious.
the
Oh
ending
my
was just
God.
as disrespectful as the intro.
Yeah,
This is true.
yeah,
He went one by one.
exactly. So we're
He
collectively
doubled
hit 'em
down
up.
on his double down.
All right, we're gonna hit him up. We're gonna go hit him up.
All right, cool.
I love Bella for that one, but I gotta go hit him
Yeah.
up.
The Bitch and You and Dre Day.
I hate to say it, I gotta go Dre Day. I
Yeah.
gotta go Dre Day.
Okay.
Vision
I
was some
agree.
serious shit. You know, it didn't even get a response. To it. And Q can respond, but Dre Day in the video alone, like, come on.
The video was funny.
The
Yeah.
video with a sign, we're rapping, yo.
Hey, videos add an extra point to it, though.
Exactly. They absolutely do.
Serious.
Yeah, I gotta go with that one too.
All right, cool. That's another sweep. No Vaseline, New York. No Vaseline. I'm not even.
That's
they
I
see
don't even
look,
feel like I
look,
need to
Yeah.
explain
this
Yeah.
is where you have the whole Southern California pissed off right now. Seriously. You gotta see my group chats. They like, yo, Baylor, how the fuck did you let this happen? I said, bro, I even lied. I said it was randomly generated. I had nothing to do with it. Like, yo, this is unfair. Cause I felt like
Okay,
New York could have upset.
We're okay. Realistically, let's just real quick. What track on here that again is not a lower seed than New York could this have beaten? Because I don't see it beating anything that's seeded above it.
I feel like now this is what I'm. Hear me out
Okay.
before y'all. I can see it coming. Look, I know when the Green Ranger about to move because he sits still. New York replaces Sheether. That's a competitive bracket right there.
So you're saying just okay? So that's just moving it one place up. So if New York would have been ranked 13 and Sheether would have been ranked 14th, then it would have been No Vaseline versus Sheether. And I see people having issue with that. That's why, like, no matter what, people are gonna have issue.
No Vaseline versus Sheether is unfair. I'm talking about that Takeover versus New York.
They Takeover would have won.
Yeah, Takeover would have won that easily. Like it's not even a
Green
New York would have
Ranger.
been out.
Green Ranger. Them niggas kicked the building down in chucks, my nigga. In chucks. We gotta look at it though. I hear you. I know what it is. This goes back to
Deep and Nas.
But look, this goes back to what I said about Red and Meth not being recognized as the best artists of all time? Is it
Mm.
because of the masses say that Takeover is that big? When you look at New York, that was they disrespected a whole city.
Who did they go after? Anyone specific? Just the whole city, knowing that everybody like
It
showed up
don't
and
matter.
came
The
at you.
ego of New York, it don't
Mm.
matter.
But everybody came after them, right?
But I get it. No,
Takeover.
I
You went
get
after
it.
the king. The king.
The king is a part of New York that we kick down the buildings. You know what I'm saying? That's
He
all
didn't
I'm
even bother to
saying.
respond to them niggas. He didn't even bother to respond. It's like a waste of his breath.
No, there was a response. He just wasn't involved because he
Jay and
politics.
Nas.
Huh?
Jay and Nas didn't respond. And that's why Mobb Deep was mad at
You want to
Jay.
know why? You want to know why? Because they felt like
OMG.
they didn't want to get into a situation where they would mess up their politics with the West Coast. That's why.
All right, so it sounds like we're having an East Coast, West Coast
debate.
little rivalry on the show.
Exactly.
That's cool. I hope.
You saying New York is better than Takeover?
No, what I'm saying, it'd be a better matchup. And I don't feel like I don't feel like Takeover.
It still gets swept.
It's still with laws.
But I don't feel like Takeover. I don't feel like Takeover is a clear cut winner over New York. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying you would have chose?
Won't they eventually?
If we break it down,
would you have voted Takeover over New York? I'm sorry, New York over Takeover.
I will fight for it. I could fight for it.
But would you have voted for it?
Yes, you would have.
I don't know. I said it's a better matchup.
So either way, the three of us it still would have lost. It's not coming out of this.
Yes, because y'all going to naturally pick that one. I'm saying I would put up a fight for New York, and it would be valid.
And
you just want the opportunity to
argue it? I mean,
for it.
That's
who the real Green Ranger now.
What I feel like you're saying,
trying to prove is that
what I feel like you're saying is that you want the ability to argue it just to argue it, and you feel like you can't because it's against another West Coast track.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the track was so good that
why aren't you arguing it against No Vaseline? If it's so good, why aren't you arguing against No Vaseline?
Because the same reason that I'm arguing for New York, Vaseline did the same thing. Cube took out a whole damn crew. New York went at Dogtown went at a whole city. That's my point. I don't care if it was flipped around. It could have been the East Coast. It could have been the Locks that said, you know what I'm saying? So it would have been whatever.
That's all I'm saying. This
still would have lost. Vaseline at a loss.
Okay. Let's move on.
Right.
You the real Green Ranger now. You the real Green Ranger now.
All right. Next one. Second round KO. Story of Adidon. This is Story of Adidon.
Now this is probably like an 8-9 seed. Like it's evenly matched to me.
It's the 6 and 11 seed, so I mean it's close.
We're going Adidon.
I'm going Adidon on that one. That was disrespectful.
I feel like, and let's mention it. Pusha does have 2 diss tracks in there.
Pusha is the one rapper that I think that nobody as much as Pusha is not hugely mainstream. I think how we said the rapper's favorite rapper. I think secretly, almost every major MC does not want to piss off Pusha T.
That's a fact.
I swear to God. Every time I see in one of those videos, this is somebody who's always doing this.
Exactly.
Nah, you don't want it.
Like when Tory Lanez was doing that whole summer where he was coming at everybody and he was like, "Yeah, I don't even want Pusha T." Everybody collectively was like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. You're just
you don't. No, you don't. Chill, bro.
You don't want that. Just shut up."
Kendrick didn't even mention him in the song with Big Sean either, did he? He didn't mention Pusha T.
Pusha T in Control, didn't he?
Nope. He did not mention Pusha T.
Whose name did he say right before Drake? Because I could have sworn it was Pusha and Drake.
Well, we got some homework to do.
Okay,
we got homework to do. Okay, so let's move on.
But even with that being said, and everybody knows I'm a Kendrick Lamar super fan. Kendrick doesn't want shit with Pusha T, bro. That's just, and that people may think I'm crazy as fuck for saying that. Pusha T will annihilate Kendrick Lamar not in a battle. So there's different. A rap battle, Kendrick would beat Pusha T. In a diss track in which Pusha has a chance to come out with a video and break down his opponent, Kendrick doesn't want it with Pusha, bro.
In my Monique voice, I would like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to think about that one.
All right. Okay, so we're
This
done with
movie,
the first round. Not necessarily, because you guys have to vote on the Bridges Over Exodus, but other than that, it's gonna be Ether versus whatever comes out of there. Ether's gonna win probably. We got Lost Ones versus Takeover next week. Hit 'em Up versus Dre Day, and No Vaseline versus the Story. The two most disrespectful.
Oh,
No Vaseline versus Story.
That's another point that I want. Lost Ones versus Takeover, right? Okay, that's how I feel about New York versus Takeover.
There's got to be a winner though.
So I ain't gonna, I don't know who I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna definitely study these two.
And so this week we had a lot to go over. This was the first round. Next week we'll dive a little bit deeper into why we're picking each track over one, because I feel like the further this goes along, the bigger the arguments are going to be. This first round was pretty easy. I can see next week being easy in some instances, but some instances not.
That elite 8 about to be cracking.
Oh, the Elite 8 is going like the last two rounds of this. I hope that we're still all friends after that.
I think the final four and the finals will be easier to pick. I think this is the next round is going to be the toughest one.
Oh, you think so? I
because I'm going to break down detail. I'm going to break down details to all of them.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. That is it for the Breaks Radio this week. Miss Mary Almonte, go ahead and give me your social media. Any parting words?
I am at Miss Mary Almonte on all social platforms, and at Young Urban Moms, and at Just Spice with a Y for further commentary.
Have a good night.
I am
at Baylorism because punk ass Twitter won't give me at Baylor the Great, but at Baylor the Great on everything else except for Twitter.
All right, Marquis.
I'm Marquis at Safe Moon. I gotta admit, you were right about Pusha T. He didn't mention him, but there was no response, so that is what it is. Yeah, impenetrable. I'm good.
That is one of the best usernames I've ever seen in my life. The M_penetrable.
Well, thank you.
Like that, I gotta give you hats off to that one. You did that. So great username. You guys can follow me at CEO Hayes. Is at CEO HAIZE. Any parting words is what I'll say. New York would have never made it out the first round. And if you guys have a problem with that, and not Baylor.
It's like LA.
This isn't directed at Baylor, because I know Baylor is representing the people who have messaged him, and Baylor knows what the fuck he's doing. So this is not directed at me. And Baylor can have music debates all day long. But you motherfuckers who ain't on podcasts, who got a problem with seating and don't do shit, I don't give a fuck how y'all feel. But you can follow us collectively at The Breaks Radio. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, thebreaksradio@gmail.com. If you want to leave us a voicemail, if you want to go off about our diss track ratings, you can do so at 614-547-2039. Make sure you guys are breaking the cycle. This has been another episode.
That's the episode.
of The Breaks Radio. We are out this bitch. Peace.
Hey, some people say Leon was in that New York video if you look close.
I cannot. He wasn't even born.